and welcome back to another episode of High Vibes at 5, where I'm live streaming into this group, the Creation Code Collective, on the first 3 Thursdays of each month at 5 p.m. UK. Great to be with you again this week. And this week, I'm going to be talking to you about the number one thing to be aware of on your ascension journey. The number one thing to be aware of on your ascension journey. And you're really going to want to know what this is, because quite honestly, if you don't have this piece down, if you don't have this piece like in the height, in the forefront of your consciousness, then nothing else is going to work behind the scenes. Okay, so I'm going to be talking to you more about that, but pretty sure you guys will know me by now. But Ariella Indigo, Master Oracle, Ascension Way Shower, and Spiritual Business Mentor. And what I love to do more than anything in the entire world is help people, get people plugged into their soul blueprint, help people to remember who they are, help people to align with their highest purpose of being here, and like fully activate, really activate people's ascension process, their mission, and their divine gifts as well. In case you didn't know about it, I have got a masterclass which is happening 1 hour's time, 6 p.m. UK time. You will need to be on my email list. We've been sending you invitations this week in order to attend that. The 4 golden keys of ascension. So I did do a live stream into this group a little bit earlier on in this month. If you missed that, then I'm going to be doing it live again tonight. The 4 golden keys of ascension. That's at 6 p.m. We'll be going a lot deeper into the ascension process, and I'll be giving you a lot of guidance during that masterclass. And I'm also facilitating another creation code activation where I actually upload one of the creation codes into your DNA template, into your soul matrix, your soul blueprint. So the number one thing to be aware of on your ascension journey, as I say, like if none of us have this piece down, then it's going to be very difficult to be evolving. Like this is something that you're really going to want to have like in the forefront of your consciousness. And I'm going to speak to you about what that is. And I'm by way of really sharing a story with you, a story of my own and my own ascension process with you, which is really going to help to illuminate why this number one thing to have like down, or to have like in your main consciousness and your ascension process, why it's so important. So the story that I'm going to share with you, it's based on actually a post that I put into this group the other day. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but a couple of days ago, there was, you know how you get on your news feed, like those things flash up and they are memories, right? You get these memories, like pictures and stuff. And this was one of my memories from 4 years ago. And normally I don't take much notice of them, but this one, it really took me back down memory lane. And I want to share a little bit about that with you, because it really feeds into, as I say, the point that I'm going to be sharing with you about like the number one thing to be aware of on your ascension journey. So for me, the pictures was of 4 years ago. I was in my year 7, which is like a super introspective year. It's a year where spirit are working with you a lot. They're activating your DNA, and you're really going through like some big stages on your ascension process. So it was back when I was living in the caravan still. We were living in the caravan. We were working in the caravan. And at the time, we were traveling around different festivals, and I was there working as an oracle, a mystic in the caravan, literally. And I was doing tarot readings. I was doing soul blueprint readings when I could, because I needed to connect to the Wi-Fi for that. And we were doing these quantum time traveling cacao ceremonies, which was basically, we had groups of people and we were having cacao ceremonies, and I was taking people through like group past life regressions, or sometimes future life regressions. Super cool. But it was a very sensitive stage of my ascension process. And I can see Katerina in the comments saying that you're in your year 7 now. Yeah, so it's a very introspective cycle, lots of illumination, lots of progress happening spiritually. And there I was, we were going out to all of these festivals, and it was really difficult for me because I was feeling extra sensitive, as most people do in their 7 year. And some of the festivals that we went to, they were like non-spiritual festivals. So there was a lot of music, there was a lot of like people partying and going crazy. Like 2 out of the 3 were not spiritual festivals at all. And I really thought, and my guidance was telling me, and have you ever had this where your guidance tells you to do something and you follow it and you're there and you're like, well, why did you tell me to do that, spirit? Because this is a nightmare, right? And it was one of those moments for me. And I know that all of you have had those moments on your ascension journey, and I have had those moments as well. And I want to talk a bit about why this happens in this live stream today. So my guidance was absolutely sending me to these festivals, and we were also like trying to sell crystals. And my guidance was telling me before we went there that we were going to have lots of people coming to our stand, and we really thought it was going to be this big thing. So we pushed the boat out. I mean, we had no money to our names. We were both on credit cards, but we bought like £2,000 worth of crystals, right? Huge like amounts of crystals on credit to go to these festivals, because we honestly thought we were going to be absolutely mobbed. And we thought because they were non-spiritual festivals, we would be even more mobbed. How wrong we were. And it was like, I was raging a bit at spirit afterwards, and I'll talk to you about that. But like, we went to these festivals. I was super sensitive. The music was like way too loud for me at this point. I wasn't enjoying being in the big crowds. I was feeling very like empathically sensitive. I was wanting to escape, couldn't escape. And then I was also like doing all of these readings, and sometimes there were a lot of people queuing up for readings. So I was doing reading after reading after reading. And, it was very intense for my energy. And then I was holding these facilitating groups, doing these quantum time traveling cacao ceremonies. The long story short is that it was an epic fail, right? It was an epic fail. We did these 3 festivals and we just about broke even, I think, at the end of it, just about broke even. But we only did that because we ended up having to sell all of the surplus crystals that we'd bought on eBay afterwards. And that was how we ended up breaking even. But we were like minus before then. And I remember feeling completely frazzled, energetically frazzled, right, by the end of these festivals, and like just really dumbfounded. I've stepped forwards, right? I've trusted you, spirit. I've left corporate last year, and you've shown me glimpses of my mission. You've shown me glimpses of what my gifts are, and I'm trusting and I'm following, stepping forwards here. And I'm really trying, but none of what I'm trying is working. And in fact, I'm going more and more into debt. I'm getting less and less energy here. And maybe I'm going to have to go back to corporate, right? Because I haven't got any money now. So what on earth is going on? Plus the fact, and this just dropped in before the festivals, and again, this is a year 7 thing, so you can get some pretty big revelations that come up for you in your year 7, some pretty big like illumination and secrets come up to the surface. And the secret that had come up to the surface for me is I just come out of denial about entity attachments and me having them. And that was just before I went into the first festival. Like I realized that actually I'd had entity attachments in the past, and actually I was still experiencing them. And it brought up so much fear for me at that point. I didn't know how to manage my energy. I didn't know how to protect my energy. I didn't know how to clear intrusive energy. And some of you know I've introduced you to Janet Trelaw. Janet Trelaw and I mean, Janet's an incredible mentor of mine, and she was my therapist at the time, and she was doing the clearings for me. Both of us now, this week, we're just about to finish it, our teaching, the third and fourth module, from Quantum Dark Arts Defense Training. So I'm now a teacher of it. But at that point, I had no tools. And I'm going to these festivals, and I know that I've got attachments, and I don't know what to do about it. And I'm committed to these festivals, and my energy is really, really like struggling at this point. So it was just a disaster. I mean, it was so difficult being at these festivals as well, being so super sensitive. So afterwards, I was like raging at spirit. I went total into victim mode for a good day afterwards. And it was like, completely like depressed, angry, pissed off. you know, what's happening? You told me, basically, you guided me to go to these festivals. It's been an absolute disaster. So I'm going to get to why this is important for you. But if you've ever had experiences like that, where you've followed your guidance, you've actually followed your guidance, and it's not turned out the way that your guidance has been speaking to you, then drop me a note, right? Drop me a note in the chat, or put a thumbs up, okay? And let me know what your experience was, because nothing is ever a mistake, right? Nothing is ever a mistake. And that's one of the key points that we all need to know about on our ascension journeys. Even when your guidance sends you down a particular path, and that particular path doesn't work out the way that you think it is, it was still supposed to happen, okay? And it's one of the things that we need to understand on our ascension journey, because the most important thing to remember on your ascension process is that you are the powerful creator of your reality, right? You truly are the powerful creator of your reality. And it's when we forget that, and I forgot it, right? I forgot it on that day, and I've forgotten it many other days beside that as well. And I think it's a normal part of the ascension process for us to go unconscious and to forget that at times, right? And when we forget it, it's easier to go into those victim states. Now, remembering that you're the powerful creator of your reality is really important. And you guys who are all in this group, you have like a massive support, extra support, because you've all got your ascension maps, right? And your ascension map is, in other words, your soul purpose profile, your soul blueprint, okay? And I think you've all downloaded that, you've looked at it, you've looked it up in my ebook. If you haven't done, then go to my website, right? You can download it from there. But I've been sharing it freely with you guys. So that is where, and that was the key thing that helped me as I was going through that time. When I slipped into victim again, it was like, well, why me? Why is this happening? Spirit, you've sent me off down like a blind alley here. This is your fault. And I'm going to have to go back to corporate and all of these things. It was actually my soul blueprint and tuning into that, and like spending some time looking at it, that helped me to understand why I was creating it, okay? Why I'd created that experience. Because there's normally like three main reasons why you're experiencing like consequences, okay, in your reality, in your creation story, that you haven't intended to create. So even when you follow your guidance, the first reason why it can happen is because you were meant to have that experience, because spirit, the universe, is up-leveling you in some way, right? There are skills, there are learnings, there are lessons, there are skills that you are learning, and you had to go in a certain direction in order to learn them. So there were various experiences, there were various skills, there were new learnings that I embodied because I went to these festivals, right? Actually, like doing loads of readings to people was a massive way of helping my intuition to come more online. And it was a way that I was becoming more of an experienced reader, holding space, doing the group cacao ceremonies, even when I felt super sensitive. It was a way of me gaining confidence in my abilities as a facilitator, and doing it in some pretty difficult set of circumstances, like when there's loud music blaring outside, our tent, right, in this festival. It was like there were some challenging circumstances. So it was up-leveling me as a facilitator. So that's one reason you're being up-leveled. The second reason is similar. Your character is being molded, right? Your character is being molded in some way. So it gave me confidence. It gave me confidence in my ability. And because it was a difficult set of circumstances for me to be in and to go through, it helped me to see that actually, even as an empath, even as a sensitive, like there is always ways of staying in these situations and moving forwards and managing your energy. Even at that point when I didn't know how to manage my energy, right, there's still ways that I can be in situations, which are challenging for me. It was molding my character. It was strengthening me from the inside out. And like for all of us, when it comes to our higher purpose missions, when it comes to ascending into the highest versions of ourselves, and I've been sharing a lot about this, there does need to be that inner strength, right? There needs to be that inner strength, that inner determination, that commitment, that like no matter what comes on our path, we're going to find ways of navigating it, and we're going to find ways of keeping on moving forwards. You develop your spiritual skin, your spiritual like toughness in a way, right? Because you get these experiences, you go through these experiences. So that's number two. Number three is that it could be, if you've trusted and followed your guidance and it's not been the result that you were hoping for, it could be because there is a new direction that is actually opening up for you. And there's a learning, there's an insight that you needed to have, okay? So you were asked to go in a certain direction, but actually it's like it's changing your path. There's knowledge, there's information, but there is a new direction that's going to emerge from it. So creation is not a linear process, is it? It's not a linear. I mean, it's like, it's swervy, it goes up and down, it goes back and forth, right? And it's like sometimes things just gets reversed on you as well. I mean, I'm going through a creation cycle at the moment. In this month, it's my year 2 at the moment. It's my year 2, so it's all about collaboration, partnerships, relationships. It's more of a slower cycle this year. And I'm in my year 9. Okay, and in month 9, I'm in my month 9, my year 2. And when you're in your month 9, often things can like get reversed. Okay, and those of you who are in your year 9s at the moment, you will know this. And whenever you're in a month 9, you can sometimes see it as well. It's like you have to go backwards sometimes in order to go forwards. So we're always the powerful creator of our reality. Every single choice that we're making, every single word that we're speaking, every single thought that we're having, every single action that we're taking is creating our future, right? Our future. It's like it is cause and effect all the time. And sometimes we have to go backwards in order to find out like how to create things from a fresh template in a better way for us so that we can go forwards. So it is really about staying in this absolute knowledge that we're always the powerful creator of our reality, even when we trust and we follow our guidance and it doesn't work out the way that we think it does, or the way that we think spirit has told us it's going to work out. It was for a reason. And sometimes our guidance or our guides can be a little bit like canny, right? They're always on our side, but they know that we have to have certain experiences first in order to like open up a new level and go in a new direction. So we get to stay in our creative power, in other words, and not slip into victim consciousness. Because, to finish the story of the caravan and the festivals, that was in my year 7. That was like July of my year 7. Well, July of my year 8, just 1 year later, that was the month that my mission launched. I did my first ever summit in the August, which was an incredible experience, an absolutely incredible experience. There was like 5,300 people that opted into that. And afterwards, it was just like reading after reading after reading after reading was booked. I think I was doing like 8 readings a day at one point. And I went from being in a rock bottom financial state, like nothing else to sell, on my 3rd and my final credit card, to like in a month, 4 months, like £30,000 had been created, right? 1 year later, 1 year after that, like $240,000 has been created. I'm now like serving a global community, and I'm figuring out how to serve all of these people that are now on my email list and wanting readings from me. I'm employing team and staff. And a year after that, then my business crossed like the $1 million threshold, right? So that is just like, that is creation, right? And that is the absolute gift and blessing and wonder of creation, so long as we keep on moving forwards. And so long as we have this higher awareness that we are the powerful creators of our reality, and even when we go on these detours and we have so-called fails, there is like always redirections, lessons, learnings, redirections, and blessings, for every single experience that we're creating ourselves. And like things can change in a moment. But we have to stay on our path, and we have to stay true to our path, and we have to be prepared to follow spirit all the way to the end, So that is the lesson of the teaching of today's live stream. You are the powerful creator of your reality. There's a good reason why things are being created, even when things don't work out the way that you think they do. And if you are failing, right, if you're failing, then it's not a failure. You're failing forwards. As long as you're on that ascension path, and as long as you keep on stepping forwards. And I've shared with you one failure today. There has been many more since. There will be many more in the future. I fail on a regular basis, but I still always keep on stepping forwards. And then there's like these pockets where things open up and it's a new vista, and you realize why that thing did fail in the way that it did, because you were supposed to be somewhere else, and you were supposed to be going in a new direction, and it's a much better result than you could have ever have created if you'd have stayed on the path that you were on. So I hope that this has inspired you. I hope this has reminded you of who you are, and reminded you to stay in your power as the creator of your reality. I want you to drop me a note in the comments, and I want you to let me know, what is the wall that you are hitting right now in your ascension process? What's the wall that you're hitting at the moment? And then I want you to also share how you can switch your perspective on this wall in a way that helps you to get past it, or at least in a way that like helps you to feel better about it. Yeah, so share that with me in the comments below. I can see that some of you are sharing here. Katerina's saying, is it possible that the guidance I think is coming from spirit is actually coming from the entities? That's a very interesting question, Katerina. You are somebody who definitely would benefit from knowing about energy management and protection, because yes, so it is possible that might be happening. And certainly that would have used to have been my situation as well. But since I've become fully sovereign of my boundaries, and I know how to detect intrusive energy and clear it, then it's no longer a issue for me. And you may want to check out my Quantum Dark Arts Defense training, which is on my website, if you are unsure about that at all. Helen is saying, thank you. This is a blessing to hear today. Very pleased to be of service. Claire saying, surrendering or stepping into your power. Yeah, connecting to divinity. So yes, surrendering is one of the most powerful things that we can do, right? Surrendering to following our story all the way to the end. And to really understanding ourselves to be the powerful creators of our reality, God, Goddess, Source embodies. And this is an ongoing thing for us all. But like that's why I think it's good, right, that we do share on these topics as well. And we have these reminders, because we can all go unconscious at certain points and forget that, and then we're out of our seat of power, literally. So I think even that awareness, Claire, is good, right? And you're setting intentions that you want to really like be fully in your power and fully connected, and understanding yourself as the divine, right? As the divine in a physical body. So I will drop into the comments, and I will connect with more of you as well in the comments. But thank you for joining me today. Next week is integration/flex week for me. So I won't be with you next Thursday, but I will be with you the following Thursday at 5 p.m. And if you're not already signed up, then I'm doing my masterclass tonight at 6 o'clock, which is in 35 minutes time, the 4 golden keys of ascension. So I will see some of you then, and thank you and many blessings. Have a great day. Namaste.